I think there are rules that you need to follow, and there are certain rules that I do firmly believe in. And I have broken every one of these rules, but they are still very important. One is you got to get to that date as quick as you can, because there's nothing worse than spending 2 weeks texting back and forth, I mean, we're both writers. So like, I'm, being witty and fun and emojifying it, and we're good at it. And, and I've dated or like, set up dates for people that were also just like, God, text after text. And it becomes this distraction that you do. And you've wasted 2 weeks then when you sit down to have a date and realize that there's no chemical reaction. And it is a chemical reaction. I think we have to remember that. There's chemistry here. Yeah. And I have sat down with the most attractive person in the world and felt nothing because there was no chemical reaction.
There have been a lot of men who have been like, we each swipe on each other. There's like 1 or 2 messages back and forth, and they're like, let's go get a drink. And for me, I hear that and I think they're going to murder me. So I'm not that
interesting.
Getting to know somebody over text is, a lie detector test or anything like that, but you get a sense of them more, I think, when you communicate for a little while. So, are they responding really quickly, and is that too quick, or is that weird, or do they say inappropriate things? Are they like, there's all kinds of like indicators I think that happen in that text communication that lets you relax your spidey senses a little bit. And like, okay, I'll go meet you in a public place somewhere. Because if you want to meet me too fast, and I get what you're saying, you don't want to waste time. And every man on or nearly every man on these apps says like, I don't want to text buddy, let's just go out. Every single one, and every single woman that I know wants to get to know you just a tiny bit before they agree to like meet a stranger from the internet or phone, whatever, in person. Because the fear there all of the time is like, am I about to set up a date with somebody who's going to kill me?
I mean, that underlying thing cannot be stressed enough. Totally. And like, that's something that like, as a guy, we just do not understand. And we just don't have that feeling. And, that cannot be stressed enough and isn't stressed enough. And as my compromise, and I did come to this compromise, was if, there's somebody I really want to meet, they really would like to get to know me first, I suggest the phone call. Yeah. Because I think a nice 20-minute phone call just to say hi, just to get a sense of, do they have a friendly, warm-sounding voice? Yeah. Can we do a little bit of repartee? Whatever it is. So I've done that a decent amount. And I love talking on the phone. Because I'm a Gen Xer and we like human connection, but that to me was a nice middle ground. And maybe it's a Zoom call, maybe it's whatever. But
we just talked about how we don't look good in selfies. Have you seen that front-facing camera? I don't want to FaceTime.
That's an angle. I feel like once I come alive, I look better than when you capture me like for a second. It's like that frame grab section. Put me into life, I'm better. But I completely understand the need to get to know them, to feel like they're not murderers. But I just don't like, what I don't like about the texting is that it's so hard. Like, I find texting actually really time consuming, and I start to get irritated if it's at the wrong time. And I feel like I'm doing a stand-up routine for like 2 weeks because I don't know anything about you. Like, I don't know enough about how to talk to you.
Yeah. And I think what I do, which is how I'm playing the game wrong, is I go into it completely as me, which I feel like ultimately is the best way to do it.
That's not wrong. That's the best way to do it.
Like, I'm not doing the the coy shit that I see girls do or women do that I like. I wouldn't like, not that like there isn't like plenty of sexy time texting in a relationship, whatever, but I'm not going to be coy like that with a stranger. So I'm just me. And a lot of people, I think, read that as like too much, or I don't know what they're doing. But I have had the situation where I've had that back and forth, really great textual chemistry, and met in person. I was like, it's twice this has happened where I've made the decision to meet based on like these really great text conversations after a week or two, like you're saying. And it was it's just like nothing there.
And I completely resent now all the time I spent doing all of that.
Oh, I don't that. Like, I'm just
oh, see, you had a good time. I don't like texting, so
yeah, like I don't mind it because I do it like as I like that doesn't feel like pressure to me because I don't have notifications or like anything on. So when I'm going in there, and like it does give me that kind of excitement and titillation that you were talking about, like as a relationship, because it's like, oh, this is fun, this is interesting. It's like something to do instead of just like scrolling Instagram or whatever when I'm sitting on the couch. So that part does seem fun. And then when we read in person and it doesn't have any of that chemistry, it's disappointing. But like I'm like, ugh. I don't want to talk to them again because there's no point.
But I would say that like you're coming at it from a healthy perspective of this is a fun kind of thing. There are people that really start to fall in love over text.
Yeah.
And, you know, they start to really build up in their heads based off of this text, especially someone who's had a lot of bad dates and someone who's had a lot of poor, you know, and are just looking for hope and are looking for something like not just looking for distraction. That's where I think you can really go down the wrong path with this and be like, really start to fall for somebody who doesn't exist. And that can really start to hurt after like 4 or 5 times. So if you're doing, my advice would be if you are doing Lily's method, which is it's a fun side like way to flirt. It's a flirt thing. Have fun. Go at it. You're not hurting anybody. Do not think that this is any indicator on how you'll actually be. I have plenty of people that are amazing texters and can't put a freaking sentence together.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a like or a crazy comment. We'd love to hear from you and see you again soon.